guys, Triggereddan here, and today I'm swapping the sim rig for the real thing. And I'm down at Sandown Raceway in Melbourne, Victoria, and I'm going to do 10 hot laps in a V8 Supercar, and hopefully I can do well. But we're just heading over to the garage now and get suited up, as you can see, and we're going to get in the car, pull some hot laps and see how we go. So I'll put the video up after this and enjoy, and let's get triggered.
Good job you didn't stall. You're about the fourth person that hasn't stalled today.
Oh, cool.
Everyone else is stalled. Righto, in between the yellow lines and then ease it up in a second. There we go. Nice and easy. Grab my ejector seat button so I can get out and scam me. Righto, accelerate away. Up to the third gear.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Keep rolling. We're going to go up in front of the black car.
Yep.
Over to the right. Straight right. Stop. Yeah. Wicked. Turn it off.
All right, guys, how was that? So I'm back home now, back in the safety of my own house in front of my rig. Already missing the car, already missing the feeling of actually being able to drive a real race car. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you, massive thank you to my brother who bought a gift voucher that went towards the experience, and a massive thanks to my wife and family for providing the rest of it for an early Christmas present. It was a great experience. My family came along. It was a good day out. For them, a little bit boring sitting in the stand watching me just cut laps, but really thankful and appreciative of them coming along, filming the extra outside the car track video from the grandstand, and the kids had a ball. They want to jump in it. They want to have a go. Unfortunately, this is what they've got until they're old enough to jump in. But a little bit of a debrief about what I felt of the experience. Jumping in the car straight away, you're like, wow, this is real. I've got a roll cage around me, the helmet on, trying to climb in was an experience as well. I found that the roll cage was just resting against the helmet on my right hand side, so every time I was turning left, I was a little bit conscious of that, but it didn't take away from the experience. The team down there, absolutely professional, helpful, fantastic bunch of people. The day just went so smoothly, from start to finish, from registering to the putting the suits on to debrief, and then getting down to the track and waiting for your turn to go on. Highly recommend the V8 race experience to anyone who wants to give it a go, no matter what your skill level. They have automatic vehicles there if you don't have a manual license or aren't comfortable driving a manual. So yeah, if you want to give it a go, get out on the track and experience it. It's obviously all at your pace. The instructor and the coach next to me was just fantastic. He just encouraged. He just said, keep pushing. He told me to brake when I need to brake, turn in when I need to turn, helped me pick the apexes and my braking points, and even encouraged me just to stay on the throttle till I was ready to roll off and brake. As for the feeling compared to this, it was very close, other than the physical feeling you get of braking or turning and the G-forces. The seat does a little bit of that, as much as it can. But in terms of the feeling through the steering wheel, the feeling through the brakes, I found it very close. The car I drove today had a smaller brake pedal, so going from the big brake pedal that I've got on the pedals that I have here on the V3, going to a smaller brake was a little bit awkward at the start, but once you got used to it, once you got used to the feeling of the brake pressure as well, they're very responsive and they pull the car up very quickly. I was very surprised. Also, the throttle, the feeling through the throttle, it's exactly like the V3s that I have here. As soon as you, and depending on your calibrations obviously, but as soon as I applied a little bit of pressure on the accelerator, the car was wanting to take off. We didn't get out of we didn't go lower than third gear or above fourth gear, so we stayed in pretty much third and fourth around the whole track. Obviously, varying experience of people, if they drop down into first or second in some corners, they might spin out. So I can understand why you're restricted to third and fourth gear, but it didn't take away from the experience at all. I think one time there, I instinctively wanted to go to the shifter to change down from fourth third when I was overtaking a guy on the left-hander. And the instructor sort of stopped me from doing that, but that was just, I felt that was more of a muscle memory instinct sort of thing, just because I was going slow as I was overtaking someone. I wanted to drop it down to third, but they were great, and I actually got a little bit of a compliment from him saying that I was smooth and controlled. And at one stage there, just towards the end of the video, you could see him go like this. He goes, "We should swap seats." So it was felt like a bit of a compliment that I was actually doing okay. So highly recommend the V8 race experience to anyone that can get the opportunity to do it. Put towards a gift voucher for someone if you know someone that's into racing or wants to experience the thrill of a race car. Just turn that back on. So in terms of a little bit of a debrief, fantastic. The speed, I think we got up to about 180 kilometers an hour there. I thought we may have got a little bit faster, but it's still fast enough, especially in those things. The turning in and the feeling as you're turning in, the feeling under brakes, you cannot match it. It's just, and the sound, wow, the sound of those roaring V8s, and even picking up like the little stones that flick up and go in the wheel arch of the car. I noticed on comparing that to sim racing, they've got the sound very good in some of the sim racing games. When you actually pick up some stones, you can hear it flicking around. I actually thought about that during my experience today. I'm like, wow, they've really nailed that sort of fine detail. But it's all about the experience. So in closing, get out there, give it a go, guys. Highly recommend it. And well, we're back to this, and we'll see how it helps me with my racing. I am looking at going into some V8 Supercar races in iRacing, maybe even R-Factor 2, because I got the Sandown track previously for that. So we'll see if it helps me in my actual sim racing at all. Anyway, I'll move on from there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you enjoyed it, hit the like, hit the subscribe buttons. Look out for more racing content. And until next time, let's get triggered.